Peace, I'm CLR, Fort Greene, and the head of Medina. The nation's documentaries, the two Rasheems, the black Rasheem and the Rasheen and the brown one, right? About 5-6 years ago, he did. In fact, I just was finding some. I got a bunch of them. We did a thing. Him and I. It was his project. I helped him with it. It's called the Archive Project, right? And he did what you're doing now, right? And I edited the tapes, made the nice covers and everything for him. And it was called Interviews with God, right? And I was doing a publication at the time. I was doing a publication called Tales from the Fort. I took the Tales from the Fort and I came up with The Light of the Sun. That was my magazine back there, right? And then Rasheem, he gave Wakil. He gave Wakil and that other dude, what's his name, True Islam, he called himself Dr. Wesley Muhammad, right? Because I got an interview with them, the two of them, that Rasheem did. But he shared that with them, which we ain't no Masons, so I don't, I'll speak. And you may not like what I say, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. And I'm not saying that everything I say is right, but I know a righteous man will correct me in the right way if I say something wrong, but I'm gonna give it to you as I know it, right? And it's the truth as I know it, right? Rasheem, he shared that with Wakil, right? So one day, Ali come up and said, CLR, I seen you in a book. You ain't seen me in no book. What book you seen me? He said, that book in the name of Allah, right? Book in the name of Allah, right? So somehow I think Rasheem gave Wakil my number. Wakil called me up because he was getting so much flack about this book. And I told him, he actually asked me about why they wasn't as hard on that Caucasian Michael Knight Muhammad, or Michael Muhammad Knight, whatever his name was, as they are on him, And I myself, personally speaking, between the two books, I appreciated Michael Knight's book more than I did Wakil. And the reason why I say that was because my take, not that everything in his book was right in his eye, because it wasn't, but he left the fact that he was a Muslim at the door, and he left the fact that he was a Caucasian man at the door, and he came amongst us, and he traveled with Azrael. He was at Parliaments. I didn't know who he was then, but he was at Parliaments, and he spent the time amongst us, and he wrote it as he seen it, and he did a good job to me. It's my opinion, right? In what he wrote, it was unbiased. He went crazy after he published that book, but his book was a better work to me, right? Wakil's book was based on what he heard from others, and then he took, he didn't come amongst us. Then he took the tape, right? And I do a lot of taking tapes and actually writing the words. I'll write them with a pen down from, how you say it, the tedious job of transcribing from a tape. Especially sometimes you can't quite hear or make out what the person actually said, and you gotta go back a number of times to make sure that's what they said, right? And when I was doing that, I would actually, before I publish it, I would actually get the person who tape it was, who was saying it on tape, and let them read what I wrote, to make sure that I wrote down what they said and not just what I heard on the tape. Because sometimes, even though it's a tape, you can get it wrong. Wakil, on the other hand, he never met me, he never talked to me, but he took a tape that I made and he wrote it in his book, right? But he didn't hear it right. He wrote what he thought he heard. You know, instead of, you know, because like I said, yeah, I've had the experience of going back 20 times, you know, listen to somebody speaking on the tape or even on the video and saying, damn, that sounds like that, it sounds like this, you know, and you don't be sure. But I would never say, well, I'm going to just write it what I think it is. Mm-hmm. You know, because an author actually put some little markers there to let you know that they wasn't quite sure what was said there. But before you publish something, you
come to the source.
Yeah, you know, yeah, you come to the source. I said, man, you don't know me from Adam. I never talked to you, and you got me, and you got damn near a chapter.
A chapter on you.
Yeah, in the book. He calls me the Sea God from Fort Greene. I told him, I said, my name was never Sea God. Yeah, but he gave him from that. But that was from Rashim giving him those interview tapes, and his book was based mostly on most of those tapes. He's not an authority on us.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not, and people have taken it as the authority. You know, and you know, some things he may have intentionally distorted, and other things he just didn't know no better.
If Mecca did this.